we have teamed up, as you can see from the top right-hand corner, with the Ultimate Fan Game. It is a brand new fantasy football game that incorporates the concept of FIFA pack openings into the experience. Once you sign up, you'll be given a free 10-card pack to put into your team, and you'll score points based on things such as goals, assists, shots on target, tackles won, and clean sheets. You'll also receive a free 3-pack player every Tuesday of the 38 Premier League game weeks. There's a £300,000, yep, you heard me right, £300,000 prize pot to be won over the course of the season. And best of all, there's prizes given out, cash prizes, every single week. So it doesn't matter if you've missed the first few weeks, you're still able to get in there and win yourself some money. It's completely free. Yes, I'll say it again. The opportunity to win cash each week and to get part of that £300,000 prize pool is absolutely free for you to play and sign up, but with our link below. Now, this game week alone, there was over £8,500 in prizes to be won. Places down to 300th winning a cash prize. You must be 18 years or older to enter and a UK and Irish resident to sign up. So if you like FPL and you like your FIFA pack openings, then put them together. What do you get? Ultimate Fan Game. I'm back to United, and obviously Liam wants to know how do we think he'll do after coming from a slower league back to United. I think for me, last night against Ireland might have been a snapshot of what we might see from Cristiano Ronaldo at United this season. Maybe not as involved in games as much as, the old Ronaldo 12 years ago would have been, but still devastatingly impactful at the other end of the pitch, particularly aerially. So I think he'll do the job that he's been brought in to do, personally, at Manchester United. And I think Ollie and the Manchester United coaching staff will probably, they won't be expecting him to go out there and, press back and do a lot of the work maybe that he did previously. But they will be looking to supply him good service, Steve, and feed off that and score.
Yeah, but on a PR, getting your fans on side thing, it's absolute genius, isn't it? Because everyone's buzzing about it. He isn't the player he was even 2 or 3 years ago, is he? He isn't because he went to Juve and what have they done? Like quarters, last 16 in the Champions League. He's not, he barely scraped into the top 4 last year, didn't they? And I'm quite disappointed. I know I'm not a United fan, but I really like Mason Greenwood, for example. I really like Marcus Rashford. They're building this really young, quite exciting team, aren't they? Sancho, Greenwood, Rashford, a lot of like good attacking players. And for me, I'm told that they were offered him all summer basically and said no. And then essentially when they found out City were involved, all of a sudden they're jumping at it and it doesn't really feel to me like the way to do business, chucking massive money at a 36-year-old when all it does. I mean, is he, he's better than Cavani, but is he that much better than Cavani? Like, is he?
Was it more to stop City? Was it a reverse Alexis Sanchez?
That's exactly what I think it is. I think he was, and I think he would have. I've no doubt he'd have joined City, if United hadn't come in. There's a lot of like brinksmanship, isn't there? Like who said, he said, she said, and stuff. But he's a professional footballer and he wants to go and win things. He's the most driven footballer on the planet, isn't he? The most selfish in a good way. I mean that as a compliment. He's completely driven and completely focused on winning things individually as well as in his team. So I've no doubt he'd have joined City, and I've no doubt that he would have. I've no doubt that he, United really only said yes to it because they didn't want him to go there.
And what do you feel from that? One, Jack, what do you feel from that? And two, it just goes to kind of prove what we've said before about the fact that United and the board were able to say, okay, well, 28 million or whatever, and we can still afford that $500,000 or just shy of $500,000 a week salary of his.
Yeah, I gave Ronaldo a lot of shit last week at the time, but you can't fault him as a player. You think United were frustrating before Ronaldo. You think, that game against Wolves was frustrating where they were dominated by Wolves for 90 minutes and then somehow found the winner. You chuck Ronaldo in there, they become 100 times more frustrating because that guy can ghost the game and then there's one moment of world class and it'll win it for them. You know, he's not the same player that he was. Steve is right in that respect, but he's still world class. He's still a phenomenal footballer. And listen, I have no doubt that he was brought in for Manchester United because of the fact that they wanted to stop him from joining Manchester City. No doubt in that at all. But they've still managed to get a world class player, and they're paying more wages than they'd have liked. And you know, it's not the signing they'd have liked, because he does restrict game time for players like, you know, Anthony Elanga, Diallo, who they brought in, and obviously Mason Greenwood, who I think is a phenomenal, a really, really exceptional young generational talent in my opinion. But at the same time, these sorts of players can learn from Cristiano Ronaldo.
That's true. That's true.
You know, it gives a confidence boost to the whole football club. You know, these players will want to play alongside Cristiano Ronaldo. They will raise their game significantly to play alongside Cristiano Ronaldo, and that is why these marquee signings are so important for football clubs, because it makes players completely raise their game when they're playing alongside them, because they want to be on that pitch playing alongside a player like Cristiano Ronaldo. And you know, I was in a conversation with a mate the other day about Daniel James, and you know, you get a player like Cristiano Ronaldo join your football club, there is no way you'd want to leave and go to Leeds. And you know, Dan James, I'm sure would have probably wanted to stay at United and fight for his place to play with Ronaldo and stuff like that. So yeah, I think he'll do well in the Premier League. I don't think he'll get the sort of goals to game ratio that he did in La Liga and Serie A, but I think he'll still be a very consistent goal scorer. I don't think he'll bring United trophies, because what they needed this window was a midfielder, and they've sacrificed that to bring in a player to prevent City from going on and winning several trophies with him. But yeah, for me, he won't bring them trophies, but he'll bring them goals.
But you know who doesn't raise their game to play with Cristiano Ronaldo though is Bruno Fernandes. Have you seen how bad he is for Portugal in the Euros? In the Euros, he was awful.
They'll have to change the system, Steve, because the best United are on the counter attack. And you know, they won't be able to do that with Ronaldo from the middle.
And he's the main man, isn't he? Bruno's, on free kicks, he's on pens, he's everything goes via him. And you're right, they'll have to change the way they play a little bit.
And for me, it's also a potential car crash there, because you know, you've got so many big personalities in that dressing room now. As well as this could go for United, it could also go completely the opposite way. Because for me, I still think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer isn't a good enough coach. And for me, you know, when it starts to get hard for United and they're in need of a coach and he's leaving it to the big personalities of the dressing room, I think that's where you start to see things go wrong there, because you stick Pogba, Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes, players like that in the same dressing room, for me, that stinks of an accident waiting to happen. So, you know, as much as this could go really well and could bring United a huge confidence boost, the egos could get too much.